What's up, folks? Tonight we're going to take a look at a PC case that I picked up for review. This case may be something that I use in the future for some of my more budget-oriented builds, that for people that want something that's still attractive but offers good airflow, and I don't want to sell a case to anybody that doesn't have good airflow and doesn't look decent sitting on their desk. The case in question is the Corsair 3500X. It comes in 3 variations. One is a bare bones variation that has absolutely nothing in it, just a bare case, so you can pick out whatever components you want to put in it. The second variation comes with 3 Corsair 120mm ARGB fans that are of standard connection, and then the third variation is the Link software equipped case that has the module included and also has 3 upgraded fans that support the Link software and all the one-wire connection. The cheapest of the cases are $89. The middle version is the one I picked out, is $119, and the upgraded version with the Link software is $159. They do come in white or black, and there is no price variation for the color difference. So that's nice, because a lot of times you see cases where it's a white case, they make it $10 more. So Corsair was smart to do that. I did an unboxing on this, looked at the case, and give my opinion on it. Also did a build in it, checked for thermals, noise, all that stuff, and just checked how the case did and how it looks sitting on a desk. We'll see if this case is for you and if it's something you may want to pick up for your next build. Let's check this out together on this week's Optimized Hardware and check out the Corsair 3500X. So unboxing this case, see how Corsair packed this thing up, and see what comes in the box. It is your typical fishbowl style case. And I found that is the best way to unbox just about any PC case. I think this comes in at just a little over 20 pounds, the case itself. So it is rather light, and just a quick glance at it, seems to be rather perforated. Was this stuck in the bottom of the case? Get this styrofoam out of here. Flip it around the front side so you can see. Get this bag off of here and see how she looks. It's had mixed reviews, but I was actually looking for a tower that has decent airflow, a tiny bit smaller footprint, and was affordable and under $100, so, or under, sorry, $150. In the past, I found the Corsair 5000D airflow to be an excellent choice for a case. But at a glance, it looks pretty decent. I believe these are all quick release panels for the whole case, and yes it is. So if you look here, there's a bottom lip that catches on the inside of the case, and these catches on the top side where it's just a ball style connector. So we'll lay that down, get that out of the way. You do get your little Corsair goodie bag. So we'll inspect in that box, get this cable out of there. One thing I noticed right away on this side when I was looking at this, they could have cable managed this, and it's tough to see in this light, but the cables for the fans are just kind of floating there. There is some peel stuff on the back of these fans, which do have Corsair branding. On the back side of the fans, they are set as intake, which would be how I would keep these. The top of this case is also just pulls right off, and it does have a dust filter that is magnetic and removable. removable. It does seem to have very porous panels. There is a fair amount of flex in this, but it seems when it's actually inserted on the top side, it is rather rigid. Typically, light cases can mean poor build quality. At the same time, the front panel comes off the same way. Hook at the bottom and tabs at the top. To be honest with you though, at a glance, the case is decent. I noticed with all the panels off, it is relatively sturdy. Comparing to the Fantex NV5 that I had looked at previously, when you have this top panel off and the glass off on the Fantex NV5, the PC almost falls apart, which isn't good. That's not a positive. You don't want so much instability. I actually had some concerns. The back plate where the covers where the graphics card would go, it was almost collapsing on the NV5. This appears to be pretty decent. So here's a good look at the front interior of the case. The back panel pulls off much the same. So it is toolless, which is good. I do like toolless cases. It makes things easy. Backside of the case appears to have relatively decent cable channels at a glance. This does support the backwards connector motherboards, which is nice. This is where the section here, your power supply will be housed in there. It is completely and fully ventilated on the bottom and the top. There's also a dust filter that I do like the way this dust filter comes out. I've seen this before. It is just one large panel on the bottom that pulls directly out and slides back in, which is rather nice. I do think that is a good move from Corsair, and there is very good airflow at the bottom of the case. It's practically see-through. So it looks very decent. You've got some more peel tabs on these back fans, which I think these fans are just a tad over 2,000 RPM for these. I doubt we'll have them at that level. It does have a front panel connector that is one connector, not multiple. You've got HD audio. You have, looks like connections for the fan and the RGB. And these are 3-pin ARGB and 4-pin PWM, which is decent. USB-C, and there is this panel here, which is removable for if you have some SATA drive storage. I am going to remove that piece because I will not be using SATA on this whatsoever. But yeah, you can put SSDs, hard drives there. Looks like got another RGB extension cable there, so if you had to tie into these, you could. So rather very light case, but also not terrible. Yeah, it's pretty simple and pretty basic. The top I/O has 2 USB-A and 1 USB-C. I believe they're all 3.2. Your power and reset and your microphone headphone combination port. So pretty decent overall. It is kind of like a flat finish to it, which I kind of actually like. I'm going to go ahead and throw some of these panels back on. I will be taking a quick break here. I have a build ready to go in. We'll go over the details of that build and what will be in this PC, and then we will check for thermals, noise, how it sounds. I will be adding a rear fan and fans 120 mils all along the bottom here just for aesthetic reasons. And I'm going to go ahead and get this build done, and when we come back we'll see what this case looks like with a full build in it, and how it sounds and what the temps are. So give me one moment and we'll be right back with a full build. With the system set at Intel defaults, it's the fans on the Corsair case, the ones that come with it, are pretty loud, and this cooler actually has a very loud set of fans on it, the Asus cooler, so they're extremely noisy. At the same event though, the temps are rather good. The 13700K in this test bench system is only hitting around 71, 72 on the hottest ones. I have seen 78 pop up but looking rather decent. Clocks are staying relatively tame at all at 5.3, 5.1 dips, 5.2, and looking pretty well. So I would say the case has decent airflow without any real issues here on the 13700K. Now, typically I wouldn't run these stock settings, but at the same time, everything's looking pretty good. I will say, you know, temps are pretty decent. I just saw ADC hit at Cinebench R23 on full load. But, you know, the average clocks look really good. The temps are rather decent, actually. You know, and it's sitting right at around 5.3, 5.2 on Intel's default settings. So voltages look good. Everything's under control. And with this not running Cinebench, the noise on this system is not bad at all. So if we kill R23 and start looking at temps, they look rather good. The GPU sitting here under just idle loads with the fans running directly into the 4070 Super are pretty decent. This PC for the test bench is a Z790 Tough Gaming with the 4070 Super Asus Dual. It has a 6400 megahertz of DDR5 RAM, and it appears to be relatively tame. So temps at idle are very, very good. The airflow seems pretty decent, and it is an attractive looking case. That's the one thing I can say about this case. It does look really good, and for the $100 price point, it's kind of tough to complain about anything here for the case. Now, I did hear other builders say that they had some issues with the build quality, but I did not experience any of that, and I thought it was actually a rather easy build. I had this PC all built and all together in about 40 minutes tops. So, and that's cable managed, everything you can imagine. So, relatively pleased with the results of this case, and it is an attractive looking case. If you don't really have the budget for something like an MV7, or you don't want to spend as much as you would on like a Lee & Lee, this will give you that, you know, fishbowl pretty glass case with good I/O and actually excellent air cooling. I'm not a huge fan of how the power supply is there, but they wanted to keep the footprint down. So other than, you know, making this a really wide case, it has the narrow footprint of like a standard ATX case, but gives you that look. So I will say I'm pretty pleased in comparison to some of like the Montech cases that have a similar look. It is a glass on glass fit on the front side on the corner without any kind of, you know, nothing obstructing that full fishbowl look. And I did put a 140 mil in the bottom footprint of the case that is right underneath of the three 120 mil fans that come with the case. Now, I will say those three fans from Corsair are rather loud, and those in combination with the Asus 360 AIO I have on here can lead for some volume at full, you know, if it's fully loaded up in R23. But other than that, for like normal gaming and activities, it seems pretty decent and rather quiet. So it's an attractive case that does have exceptional airflow. I did notice the temps came down a little bit from the previous case that I had this test bench in, which was the Montech 903 Max, which is also a very good case. But this does seem to have really good airflow, beating out that Montech case with its four 140 mil fans from the factory. So overall, pretty pleased with this case, and it is attractive. All right, well, pros and cons of the 3500X. Pros, it's got good airflow. It can house 10 fans. It's got plenty of room for cooling. It looks pretty good sitting on your desk. That's pretty much the pros. If you're a competent builder, it's an easy build. The cons. Unlike Corsair's 4000 D airflow and 5000 D airflow, there is virtually no cable management. All they really give you is a bunch of zip ties and say good luck, which is fine for a builder like me. I don't have any problems. I could make it work. But on the flip side, for somebody that's just looking for really easy, like they had a good thing going with the Corsair 5000, 4000D series, where it was super easy to cable manage and you didn't have any problems. Everything was locked down in the back of the case, where they had them kind of built in, and they gave you enough spare ties to like build a fort with. But in this situation, they really bare bones it in a lot of cases. There's no ARGB controllers, no fan hub, there's none of that stuff. It's just basic as can be. And I think they're counting on you going into the Corsair ecosystem and buying the Link. I'm not a giant fan of it just because I like to pick my own stuff out, but if you're going to go in that ecosystem, sure, it's not a bad buy. Overall, is it a good case? 100%. Is it an easy build? Yep, no problem. It housed all the products really easy. It was a super simple build. The fan curves, you can keep the PC really quiet. It's chilling behind me over there, and it's a good case. It looks really nice sitting on your desk too. So if you don't want to spend you know, like $200 on something crazy, this might be a really good option for you. You know, because once you get to the $200 and up case, you know, you're starting to spend a little more money, and you know, at that point, get whatever you want. If you're like, I have no budget, you know, you can spend $1,000, $1,500 on a case, but this looks really good. It's attractive. The glass is nice on it. The finish overall is pretty good. I do like the matte finish on the case, and it's an easy build. So if you're in the market for a case that's around $89 to $159 out of the three options, it is a good case. I will say, I wish I would have just bought the $89 case and put whatever fans I wanted in it, because I just threw some stuff in there. I would say it'd be better to put, which I did, I put a 140 mil on the floor next to the PSU, just because it looks better, because with a 120 in, you can kind of see some casting and some holes just kind of sticking around the bottom of the case. So I wanted to fill that space out, and I will match out the fans on that. It's just what I had laying around. I put some Thermalright 120s underneath the GPU, and one at the exit for exhaust. I will say it is nice with the GPU testing. I did run like Port Royal and a bunch of other stuff on the 4070 Super. It stayed rather cool with the fans blowing right into the GPU, so that was a bonus. So overall, it gets good marks. Do I say it's a case worth buying? Sure, 100%. If you love the pre-installed cable management stuff, it might not be for you, because it is zip ties and just attaching it there. Now, what I did was I had some Velcros that could slip through the zip tie portions, and I used that for cable management. It turned out pretty well. It wasn't the most beautiful cable management I just kind of tossed together, but everything fit in the back of the case fine. It wasn't like a tight squeeze. It is toolless. That is a bonus. I don't really have a ton of bad to say about the case in general, except they could have done better with what they give you for cable management. Could have used a fan hub, seeing that I'm sure they have a million of them laying around, and an ARGB hub might be nice for some people. So that takeaway, the 3500X, is a good buy. Sure, I would buy it. Is it my number one pick? No, not really, but I'm going to use it for a while and see how I like that case. I think it looks good sitting on the desk. I am going to take it to my office and swap that out and use it there and just run it for a while and see how it does. But it's a pretty case. It does all the things. It gives you that good look. It has a narrow footprint if you don't want a really wide case, like, you know, the O11D or the, you know, the O11D Evo RGB or whatever it is. That's a great case, by the way, but it doesn't have anything in that corner for support, and it is still rather sturdy. So you just get glass to glass contact. It is attractive. So would I buy one? Sure. Is it like the best case out there? No, but Corsair did an okay job, so I have nothing bad to say. If you enjoy this case and you think it was neat, go pick it up. It is a pretty piece. On that note, I would like to thank everybody at our Facebook group at Custom PC Builders. I'd like to thank you, Green. I'd like to thank you guys for watching the channel. Hopefully you can help me grow. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I do have some information on Intel. I did bite the bullet and buy some of that stuff. I'm so disappointed and disgusted with it that there's really not much to talk about. I will go over that in a full review, but that's going to be much more in-depth. I'm desperately waiting for January and the 5090 so I can get my hands on that thing and throw that in my rig. And I'm sure I'll be really happy with those results and being poor after I buy it, but it's okay. That's what I do. But thank you again. Like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in to Optimized Hardware. You guys have a great evening, and we'll see you on the next one.